Hi, my name is Kevin Taylor. Today I'll be telling you about the men in red. Yes, the men in red and how some of them have been compromised. This is With All Due Respect. So with all due respect, the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, nominated Justice Enin Yeboah as the new Chief Justice, forwarded his name to Parliament as required by Article 1441 of the 1992 Constitution, and has finally been sworn in as Ghana's Chief Justice. Loud Silence Media, we welcome you, Justice Enin Yeboah, and wish you good luck and God's blessings. In fact, the reason why I have decided to come out with this piece on our judicial system is because I know the Chief Justice has a first-hand idea of what I'm about to disclose today on my show. Even though the Chief Justice has not played any role in this scam, I will be happy if he takes immediate actions to save the judiciary from any further embarrassment. Let me make this clear. In the weeks to come, I will release audio on meetings between one particular judge and some high-profile government appointees and the president himself on how to twist the arm of the judiciary to favor some greedy politicians and, more importantly, this government. This episode is directed to the new Chief Justice, and I hope he will act as quickly as possible to avoid any more embarrassment of the judicial system. As we all are aware, the judiciary is the third arm of government. The judiciary has the responsibility to apply the laws to specific cases and settle disputes. The real meaning of law is what the judges decide during the course of giving their judgment in various cases. From the citizen's point of view, judiciary is the most important organ of government because it acts as their protector against possible excess of the remaining organs. Now, the sad part is some judges have decided to ignore their core mandate to become partisan and also greedy at the same time. Let me remind Ghanaians that apart from the current Chief Justice, the President has also promoted judges. The following judges were moved to the Court of Appeal: Justice Anthony Opon, Justice Samuel Kwame Adibu Asibu, Justice Philip Bright Mensah, Justice Angelina Mensah Homia, Justice Jennifer Amanda Dodu, Justice Sophia Rosetta Udukwa Banasco Esa, Justice Georgina Mensah Datsa, Justice Eric Kyei Baffour, Mr. Yao Dako Asare, and Mr. Obemenu Jr. Esquire. My fellow Ghanaians, now most of these noble judges have substantial judicial or governmental experience. That notwithstanding, we have a few of these judges who cannot and will never bury their partisan stance and ideological inclination and have always allowed themselves to be used as conduit by politicians in pursuing their mischievous agenda. I have taken time to investigate. Loud Silence Media, with all due respect, we have taken time to investigate the background of the judges promoted by the president, and I must say, some have excellent track record. One person whose promotion has caused serious tensions within the judiciary is Justice Eric Kyei Baffour. This man, Justice Eric Kyei Baffour. My fellow Ghanaians, today I'll be revealing so many things and why Ghana as a country has to be very worried about Justice Kyei Baffour. This statement actually goes to the Chief Justice because this particular justice by name Kyei Baffour will be the poison in his sweet wine if he, the Chief Justice, ignores these clear signs and evidence I'll be putting across today. I told you guys I'll be releasing audios. If the Chief Justice fails to open an inquiry into the conduct of Justice Kyei Baffour, I will. And Loud Silence Media, with all due respect, we will release the audios. This is not a threat, but a caution to the judicial system. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, now let's get into today's issue. My focus today is on the NCA case involving Eugene Baffour-Boni, a former board chairman of the NCA, William Tetetevi, a former director general of the NCA, Nana Owusu Ansau, a former board member of the NCA, Haji Salifu Mimina Osman, a former deputy national security coordinator, and Mr. George Opon, a private businessman who are standing trial for allegedly causing financial loss to the state. Listeners, know my position when it comes to corruption fight. I am a crusader against corruption and I will support every move to curb its perpetration, but will always resist any attempt to use it as a weapon against a political opponent or as a bridge to reach one's political destination. I believe in free, impartial, and fair investigations and trial, and also holds the view that our judiciary must be genuinely independent. I've said earlier on that there are so many reasons why I have decided to do this story today. And the one reason is the serious problem facing our judiciary system today and the perception of its extreme politicization. Today, in our judiciary system, administrative decisions, handling of cases are tainted by political considerations and judicial rulings. This state of affairs, I believe, should be remedied in order to be compatible with national and international standards of fair trial and other judicial guarantees. Today, I'm going to talk about one judge. Yes, I'm going to talk about one judge who has become basically the mouthpiece of this current government, which I belong to, the NPP. This man is called Justice Eric Kyei Baffour. Justice Eric Kyei Baffour. This is the same judge presiding on the NCA case, but there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes to make sure Justice Eric Kyei Baffour twists the law to favor this current government. Lots and lots of things happening behind the scene. The reason is simple. It is because since we, the NPP, took over as a government, we have failed in all our quest to prosecute any member or appointee of the past administration, which one way or the other is making us look incompetent and also making us look at liars who lied our way into power. My fellow Ghanaians, are you people aware that it was this same judge, this same Justice Eric Kyei Baffour, who presided over the cocaine 10 Konkonte case? This was the same judge. He presided over the Konkonte case, the cocaine that turned into Konkonte. Now, another fact about this Justice Kyei Baffour is that he was hurriedly promoted by this government to execute their political agenda. Kyei Baffour was quickly promoted from a high court judge to an appeals court judge. I can say on authority that Justice Eric Kyei Baffour is operating on the orders of the President and Mr. Kondapur. This was the reason why the case of the former NCA board members was jammed straight to the commercial court where Kyei Baffour operates so that he will execute this government's agenda. This is basic. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, Justice Kyei Baffour is seriously doing the bidding of the President and more importantly, the bidding of the National Security Minister, Mr. Kondapur, who has been caught on tape trying to seduce a woman. Mr. Dapar has been in the news for different reasons, but in the weeks to come, I will release audios and videos of Justice Kyei Baffour interactions with these people on how Mr. Kondapur wants to use the court to settle personal issues between himself and one of the accused, Baffour Bonnie. The National Security Minister, Mr. Kondapur, and this Bonnie man are chasing the same lady. Kondapur suspects that Bonnie is the real father of his kids with the lady. When the case started, Kondapur showed serious interest because of this matter. And everyone knows that. He was the man leading the prosecution. He was the man pulling the strings behind the scenes. When you go to the Attorney General's office, the CJ, they all know that Kondapur was the one pushing this case. This is the same judge who refused the request of one of the accused who is also a kidney patient. The accused wanted this judge to excuse him for treatment. This judge, Kyei Baffour, insisted the case would still be heard even in his absence. The shocking thing here is Justice Kyei Baffour is in a rush to make sure this case is called in favor of this government. His posture and conduct most of the times got the Supreme Court. It got the Supreme Court really worried. The Supreme Court on 3 occasions when constitutional issues were brought before it questioned why the trial judge, who is Justice Kyei Baffour, was rushing the trial. The judge has never opposed the Attorney General in court. He always agrees with every submission by the Attorney General. My fellow Ghanaians, with all due respect, we have done thorough investigations on this issue, and if the Chief Justice decides to ignore this bad signal, I will have no option than to release audio conversations between some of these judges and especially Justice Kyei Baffour. Justice Kyei Baffour has become too powerful and too rich in these short times. Yes, he has become too powerful and too rich in these few years, and I don't think this judge takes more salary than any other judge in this country. He recently built one of the most expensive mansions in Accra, which in fact has become the talk in the corridors of the Justice Department. The shocking part in this case is now government security agencies have been forced to collaborate with this government to twist the arm of justice. The BNI board has forced one of his junior officers to forge a signature to confirm that he was there when one of the accused made his confession. When the case was raised in court and when the junior officer was called to testify, he denied it. Yes, the junior officer denied it. This is what the deputy director of the BNI, he's called Timothy Coleman, said after the incident. And I quote, "If they knew the independent witness didn't sign, they wouldn't have brought the matter to court. End of quote. I will also play audio of one Mrs. Evelyn Dawi Kilson, a niece of the senior minister of Safa. This lady is eyeing the DPP position at the Attorney General's office. She's doing everything to make sure she gets that position. So she's licking the ass of people in power to make sure that these people are prosecuted. The morning before accused persons opened their defense, it happened. Mr. Osafo, if he's listening to me, called the trial judge, Justice Kyei Baffour, and instructed him to do something in the interest of the government. Osafo called the judge. He's tampering with justice. Yes, Osafo was tampering with justice, and we have evidence to prove that. And he said they should do something, the judge should do something in the interest of government. I will play the voice recording for the world to know the seriousness of this topic I am discussing today. My fellow Ghanaians, I will play voices of lawyer Gary Nimakon, where he had countless meetings in different locations concerning this NCA case and how it will end. I will also play a voice recording of Evelyn Kilson, who is the niece of Osafo, exerting pressure on BNI officers on phone to come and lie in court. With all due respect, my fellow Ghanaians, some fair-minded persons at the Attorney General's office have questioned the unethical procedure being deployed by Kilson, the BNI agent, and the trial judge in this particular case. According to them, the method adopted by their colleagues are unethical and illegal. They have questioned why an independent witness will be intimidated and threatened to testify in court against his own will just to get the accused convicted. The prosecution went to the extent of approaching a retired Supreme Court judge. Described as the Godfather. Yes, everybody knows him. Every judge knows him. Every lawyer knows him in Ghana. He's called the Godfather. They wanted the Godfather to use his influence and his connections to make sure that the witness purge himself in court in favor of the prosecution. My fellow Ghanaians, in the weeks to come, I will be revealing a lot from this judicial system. This is just a heads up I'm giving to the new Chief Justice. He needs to make sure the NCA case is approached in the best manner. The Chief Justice must use this case to show Ghanaians that he has also not been compromised. What I know is one of the key principles of our judicial system is that the judges who preside over a case must be fair and impartial. There are instances, however, when one of the parties in a case has reasons to believe that the judge cannot be fair and impartial. Sometimes the judge recognizes his or her own inability to maintain that in those situations, the judge will either recuse himself or the party affected will move to have the judge disqualified from presiding over the case. This is the situation the accused person and the judge in this particular case find themselves. Per fact enumerated, I honestly think this judge must either recuse himself or be forced to recuse himself. He has sworn to execute his paymaster's agenda and doing it with happiness and comfort. He cannot be fair and impartial in deciding this case. Per the voice recordings and videos available, coupled with certain decisions he took, which were questioned by the Apex Court, I can rightly say he has acted or spoken in a way that prevents him from treating the accused persons in a fair and impartial manner. The facts known by the judge are either not part of the factual records of the case or conflict with the evidence presented in court. Finally, my fellow Ghanaians, on Tuesday, this same judge, Eric Kyei Baffour, would take his seat again on the NCA case, and from the information I have gathered, he will build a foundation for his final onslaught. From our source at the AG's department, some honest Ghanaians in there are not happy the way Justice Kyei Baffour is being manipulated to twist the arm of the law to favor some politicians and this government. My fellow Ghanaians, if we lose focus, Justice Kyei Baffour will twist our democracy. He will destroy our democracy, the same way Jane Mensah and her EC zombies are trying to do. I have said, I have tapes, audio. I will release them if the right thing is not done. Justice Kyei Baffour has been compromised by this government, and the quicker the Chief Justice takes him off this case, the better for our judicial system, and also better for the Chief Justice himself. This is not a warning, but a serious caution. I have always said that I am just a messenger without a Bible or a Quran in my hand, a messenger who is willing and ready to speak truth to power. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Ekobedu Taylor, and this is With All Due Respect.